Hey, everybody. Today, we're going to recap our travel adventures in October and talk about some fun things to do around San Antonio, Texas in November 2023. Hey, keep watching. We're going to test your Rugby World Cup knowledge.
Hi, this is Living Local San Antonio with Alyse and Jay.
And I'm Alyse, and that's Jay. Please feel free to reach out to us. Comments, questions, or information in the description.
That's right. We'd love to answer any questions you might have about real estate in and around San Antonio. And today we're just going to kind of let you know what's going on in November so you get a feel of the lifestyle that you lead if you lived here. Or if you already do, maybe some places to go and to visit. So call, text, or email us. October was a busy month for Alyse and I. First, we went to Miami for the NARRE conference. And I'll kick it over to Alyse and say, what were some of your highlights and what is NARRE?
So yes, NARRE is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. That's a mouthful. We went for a conference and we were able to network with a bunch of real estate professionals from all over the United States and get to learn about their business. We teach them about our business and pick up lots of tools to bring back home.
That's right. And one of the main focuses also is how to improve wealth among the Hispanic community. And part of that is through real estate. And one other thing just to mention and to give Alyse kudos for is that she is on the San Antonio chapter board for NARRE. And that was one of the highlights for her being there as well, is to be part of the board membership from San Antonio representing there.
Yeah, it's super fun and I'd like to be involved for sure.
And then we're off to Las Vegas for EXP Con, and Vegas and Alyse, if you know her, they kind of go hand in hand, like a hand in a glove or a dice on a table.
Yeah, definitely that's on the table. Of course, we go to network and to pick up more tools and knowledge to bring back home to benefit our clients. But of course, we're in Vegas and it's one of my favorite places. So I sit through the sessions and then I'm excited to get out to the casino to play some.
Speaking of just some of the sessions, honestly, it was great to be there this year because EXP, which is our parent company, they've done a lot and put together tools and stuff like that we're happy to bring back to all of you, our clients here. They've made a big announcement that they've partnered with OpenDoor to help expand our instant offers that we can now offer for our sellers that want to sell their homes. And of course, we can now give you that instant offer plus compare it to what we could do traditionally for you and some of the other options that we have as far as like fixing up and stuff like that. So that's one great tool that they're bringing to us. And another big one is the EXP exclusive listings, which from the seller side means that you're going to get your house in front of the 90,000 agents that EXP Realty has. And it's pretty unique because EXP is one brokerage across the entire United States and really across the world. Whereas most other brokerages that you see are franchises, so they're individual owners in different pieces of the city or the state. The big thing for that is that you'll have some exclusive offerings as a seller, and as a buyer, we're going to be able to give you access to that site so that you can see houses that haven't hit the market yet and houses that will be coming up soon. So it's going to be a first look, a first view, if you will, of houses that aren't even available on the MLS or Zillow or anywhere else because they're exclusive to EXP listings and EXP agents.
Yeah, so learning all that stuff and just being up on the new market trends and all that good stuff. We did go to our last night bash at Caesars. Jay and I walked in, got a drink, and realized that it was a little loud. So we found ourselves in a little quiet room and we hung out with our buddy Ron. We saw him and sat there and talked to him through the night, and we were gone by 11.
Yeah, had access to this private awesome club in Caesar's Palace. We got home by 11. Then we came home, rested up, and did our laundry for about 10 days, 2 weeks. Then we set out for the Rugby World Cup in 2023 in Paris, France. And man, that was just a great adventure and a great time. What did you think, Alyse? What about the food and the culture?
Oh gosh, the culture is amazing. You sit for 3 hours for lunch, and that's a quick lunch. The architecture is absolutely gorgeous. Everywhere you look is buildings from what, 1600?
I'm even older.
Yeah, even older than that. We got to hang out with our friends that came from San Antonio and from all over the world. A couple highlights that we had were going over to our friend Ben's uncle's house in Paris, and they hosted us for a dinner, which was so fun, just talking to them and meeting people from Paris, actual Parisians.
Yeah, it was a proper French 18-course meal with the new set of dishes and plates and everything for each course. And I found out also that Martine and their daughter are both Parisian people that don't like cheese, which warmed my heart. So I refer to them as my French exchange family.
French exchange family. Yeah, you really like that. You had a good time after that. Yeah.
Other things that we did there, we got to walk through the Louvre patios and courtyards a bunch of times. We took a boat tour on the river. We went to this really cool Lumiere's totally lit up art gallery. So there's art projected on the floor, on the walls, on the ceilings, just everywhere you could look, and with some music going to it. That was really cool. We got to get to the Orsay Museum, and they were having a Van Gogh display and Renoir, and we got to see Starry Night and some of those other famous paintings. And then we got to go up to the top of the Eiffel Tower and see Paris at night. That was a really cool experience. And one of the other big things we got to do was go on a Champagne tour. So the area of Champagne, the kind of little area we were in was Reims, which we just thought was super funny because it's Reims, France.
France.
But what did you think about the Champagne tour?
Oh, the Champagne tour was awesome. I learned a bunch of things. We toured 2 houses. Veuve Clicquot was one of them. That was the bigger one. And they have a bunch of different caves. So that was really cool to see the champagne in there. We learned how to properly open a bottle, which I thought I knew, but I learned a couple of tricks that I didn't know. I really liked our tour guide, which was hilarious because he wasn't from France. He was from Nebraska. And what happened when we came back from the tour?
So on the way back, TJ from Nebraska gets us caught up in the middle of the giant roundabout where the Arc is. And the one you see on TV is like an 8-lane super highway that only goes in a circle, and you have to figure out your way in and figure out your way out. And there's really no lanes. It's all just people coming around. It was crazy, but he handled it well. But we were getting close to it, and he's like, oh, wow, this is going to be my first time ever driving through this thing. So we kind of white-knuckled it through there, but we made it out on the other side. And then that circles us back to rugby, which is one of the main reasons we were there. And definitely would like to shout out to our friends, Mark and Stanislaw and Kisette, that were all there, Ben and Kylene, Lobo and Dominique, Detroit and Elise. We had a great time with everyone there, with all of y'all. Also to Keefus and Frenchie, some old school San Antonio rugby players that made it over there and came and met up with us, and we had too short of a time, but a really great time together, catching up and seeing how we all looked in our old age.
And the whole month that we were gone, traveling to Miami, Vegas, and France, we were able to take care of our clients the entire time. I know it sounds like we couldn't, but we could. Had our phones with us, our computers, so we were able to work in between. And I actually like to do that. It makes me feel like I'm still connected and working and not just pawning off my work on somebody else. Even though, shout out to my transaction coordinator, she does keep me in check while I'm gone.
Yeah, we just wanted to say thanks for trusting us and letting us take care of all of you while we still get to enjoy some much needed time off and time away to do all these things. We really appreciate you guys trusting us and letting us take care of those things while we were gone. And now on to some fun things that there are to do in San Antonio, Texas in the month of November, because we still have a lot of the month ahead of us. And one of the big things up in New Braunfels, which is just up the street from us, is Wurstfest. And that's still going on through November 12th. And Wurstfest is like a big German festival, almost like an Oktoberfest, if you will, but think more of the brats, the beer, the Oompa music, and of course it's set in a German town, New Braunfels.
It is a good time. We've gone a few times. We probably tried to make it out this year.
And then of course there's a Texas-wide election. So that election day is coming up on Tuesday, November 7th in 2023, and early voting ends on November 3rd. So get out there and early vote if you want to. But some of the things that we're going to be voting on include funding for higher education research, water and energy infrastructure, bonds for local school districts and state parks. So one that really gets our attention as realtors and more so as homeowners, and that we definitely want to share with all of you, is Proposition 4. And Proposition 4 is going to raise the homestead exemption from $40,000 to $100,000, meaning it's going to help lower your property taxes. And in my opinion, that's a much needed relief, if you ask me.
Yeah, it will be a big relief for homeowners. We've had many home buyers that did not buy in certain areas because they could not afford the taxes. And we've had people have to sell their house and move to other areas of town because of that. So hoping this will be a big relief for all of us who own homes.
I think that'll be a good step to keep homeownership in Texas, the economy in general, strong. And not to get too far away from the subject of rugby, on Saturday, 18 November 2023, the San Antonio Rugby Club is kicking off its 52nd annual anniversary bigwig cool season. That's a D3 home match versus old school rugby, which is from Killeen, Texas, aka their Fort Cavazos, or formerly Fort Hood. So that'll be a kickoff to the season, and it'll really get rolling. A few games in December, and then the majority of the season between January and March on to the playoffs.
Okay, and we can't forget Thanksgiving. That will be Thursday, the 23rd. So get ready for that. Get your stretch pants ready.
And don't forget all the wonderful leftovers and turkey pot pies that come after that.
Yeah, I get to make Jay a homemade from scratch pot pie, which is always very good. Before y'all start to eat, you can go down and support the San Antonio Food Bank with the turkey trot. It's always a good time to get your belly ready for the day. And the next day, November 24th, Friday, the Holiday River Parade and Christmas lighting for downtown and the River Walk will be taking place. So if you haven't seen it, it is beautiful. You should go. If you don't make it down there then, please make it down sometime during the holiday season. Even if you're from here, tickets take a boat ride. You won't regret it. It's beautiful, and we live in such a beautiful city.
Okay, here we go with some Rugby World Cup trivia. Again, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you guys. And here's the trivia so you can play along at home as I ask Alyse. So when was the first Rugby World Cup held?
First Rugby World Cup was held in 1987.
Which nation was the first ever Rugby World Cup champion?
Go the All Blacks. New Zealand.
The New Zealand All Black. They beat France in the final in 1987. And that was hosted over there in Australia and New Zealand. What is the name of the trophy given to the Rugby World Cup champion?
It is the Webb Ellis Cup.
It's the Webb Ellis Cup, and that was named after William Webb Ellis, which is the founder or originator of the sport of rugby. He was playing in Rugby College, England, when he picked up the ball and decided to run with it, thus creating the game. Or at least that's the way the legend of the story goes. And it was really cool because it was being held in France. They had a Louis Vuitton case that opened up that they traveled with the Rugby World Cup, and that's how they presented it. So it was really pretty cool. Which was the first nation to win the Rugby World Cup 2 times?
First one to win 2 times was Australia.
That's right. Australia won in 91 versus England, and again 99 versus France. Which nation was the first to win 3 times?
New Zealand.
All Blacks again. And finally, has any nation ever won the Rugby World Cup 4 times?
Yes, as of a few days ago, and we were there. South Africa.
We saw South Africa win it all against New Zealand in the final. So they are the first nation to win the Rugby World Cup 4 times. And that's kind of crazy when you think about it, because there's only ever been New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, and England. There are only 4 countries to ever have won the Rugby World Cup. So the last question is, what other sports have been claimed as spin-off from rugby?
The only one I know is American football.
Yep, that's right. So one of the other ones is basketball, where they said that John Naismith, the creator of basketball, was trying to create an indoor version of rugby for the winter. And you can kind of see that in some of the way the game is played. The lineouts from the side when they throw the ball in basketball. And also when you go out of bounds in basketball, it's a turnover to the other team. So whoever took it out of bounds, that kind of came from rugby. And I'm sure he's got it from other elements from other sports, but rugby's got a pretty big influence on the game of basketball, which is just kind of cool. And one last thing, a bonus question for you. Where does the term touchdown come from when we talk about American football?
Touchdown comes from rugby. In rugby, you have to touch the ball down in the try zone in order to score.
So yeah, that's where football got the term from. So it's kind of different, right? Because in rugby, you have to touch it down, and in football, you just have to cross the goal line. So very interesting twist there.
Okay, guys, if you want to talk to us about rugby, which we can talk all day on it, real estate, same thing, we can talk all day, and any question, comments, whatever, please feel free to reach out to us. The information, again, is in the description.
Yeah, that's right. We'd love to be your realtors and help you buy or sell your next house. And this is where we say goodbye until next time. So thanks for watching. And as we like to say,
Keep Boston weird.
and keep San Antonio cool.